Hey guys, Tarke here. I want to give a quick update on Tarke Cat because it is, of course, the Blink Mirror Arrow Summoner. Leveling this has been surprisingly smooth. So, yeah, we're in level 33 and I leveled the entire way using Blink Arrow, Mirror Arrow in a tabular. And I just have LMP, Wed, Pierce, and Minion damage on it. Using a Storm Cloud bow, we'll upgrade this into the Tempest, eventually going into the Lionized Glare and Hero's Bite. Other than that, nothing that fancy. Important thing to note, Minion and Blink, Mirror and Blink only take damage from your weapon and your quiver. So any flat lightning damage on gear, which isn't a weapon or a quiver, is worthless. So you need to keep that in mind. But I just sort of wanted to talk a little bit about the character. There's still one or two things that I'm working out and just sort of show you what it's like in terms of how it plays. Now obviously this is level 33, we haven't picked up all our skill effect duration, which is the most important thing about the build. We're coming over here, we haven't picked up the flesh offering affects us, all that good stuff, but just so you sort of get an idea of how it works. So you'd be like, oh, that looks kind of slow, but they do pretty good single target damage. It is surprising how much single target damage they can actually dish out. Now it's a little bit awkward at the moment because I haven't got 100% pierce, so their coverage isn't very good, and when I get my Proj Weakness set up going with Curse on Hit, then I have 100% pierce. Part of me is tempted to just run Chain instead. If you run Chain instead, then you have a lot of the AI problems removed. We're not a poison build, we don't need to worry about double dipping, so missing out on oh, I'm an idiot. I meant to flesh offering. I've been spamming flesh offering, I've just been turning my clarity on and off. That's what was going wrong. So instead of having to worry about chasing Pierce and all this other stuff, you can just throw Chain in there. Running a Drill Neck in this kind of build is awkward because Proj Weakness, while it does give Pierce, that doesn't count towards Drill Neck damage. As in, that won't give you the 100% increased damage. If you want the 100% increased damage, you need to have 100% Pierce just like through the tree. Now, I very nearly made this character as a Scion, funnily enough, because Scion can actually quite easily get the 100% Pierce, like very, very easily, using the Deadeye Ascendancy option, which gives a bunch of Pierce, and then also there's a Jaw which gives 15%, the Dronic itself has 10% implicit, and then suddenly you have your 100% Pierce gap. Now, what I can do instead of that is just use a good rare quiver with a bunch of flat life on it and have maybe, I don't know, flat life, weapon elemental damage, and then a high Ele damage roll, because that will all apply over to the minions. They'll also make the minions a bit tankier, which is pretty good. So that's something I'm kind of thinking about, and I think that might be what I want to do. You can also do the whole block thing, but I'm not too sure about that. You can also use Soul Strike and do stuff with EB and Mind Over Matter. Right now, I think I'm going to be able to sustain the mana cost without needing to do Eldritch Battery. And if that's the case, well, you do get defense from having EB and Mind Over Matter. I think I'd rather save the skill points and just get like more jewels in the tree, get actual like just raw DPS nodes. The guy whose forum thread I referenced in yesterday's video, he did the whole EB Mind Over Matter thing, and it does give him a lot of effective defense and it does solve mana issues. But we already get a lot of like mana sustain stuff just in the tree, so I don't think we really need to worry about it too much. But while this isn't like the most impressive showcasing of a character, level 33, this is pretty smooth for a summoner. I'll do one quick laugh of Dried Lake as well. Like for a summoner, this is very, very smooth. And sorry for the constant tip tapping. So I was like shocked that just the base summoner leveling, and I'm someone who really dislikes playing summoners because they're so janky. It's one of those things of you just kind of press 2 buttons, and then as you get more increased duration, you can then start having multiple summons out. Like I can just about get 2 out for a very brief period, and then they wipe each other out. But here, for example, like if I had Chain on this, and I'll try it out when I get to level 38, then they would all be bouncing, you wouldn't have any missing and stuff. Obviously I haven't got my minions the attack speed cap either. Once they have attack speed cap, once you have GMP, then Pierce will feel a lot better. But right now I feel like Chain might be the way to go. But yeah, I don't know. I think this might be a better build than I thought it would be. I was kind of expecting like tier 3, maybe tier 2, because the single target is actually pretty good for bosses. But I reckon if I get the chain setup going, I could probably get the map clear up to about tier 2 quite easily, especially if I use flash offering and stuff like that to boost my own movement speed. We don't need the flash offering from the minions because we can very easily cap out their attack speed at 1.8% without it. So you can go for a defensive thingy. Defensive offering. But, I don't know. But I think the one thing that I do really like about this character is you're pressing a lot of buttons. Because you're constantly bouncing in between blink arrow, mirror arrow, trying to drop Vaal lightning traps, doing offerings as well. It's very spammy, and that I really like. Like, I play a lot of WoW, so I like having rotations. And one of the things which often makes me bored of PoE builds is just pressing one button over and over and over again. Whereas with this, there's like an actual rotation to it, which feels kind of cool. I'm still getting used to it, and I'm fat thumbing it quite a lot. But it's also one of those things that, because of the way that this plays, you don't really need to think about anything. Like, I've just been randomly going on, and just, as long as you track your cooldowns, obviously there's, you know, positional requirements needed, but if you run chain, then there's even less positional requirement. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this is actually a pretty cool character, and I don't know, I like it. It's going much, much better than I thought it would be. I thought I'd have to use, like, Spit Arrow to level all the way up, and then, like, Merciless or something I'd be able to transition, but for summoner leveling, I think this is pretty good. You're all going to tell me in the comments this looks absolutely terrible, like what the fuck are you on, Tarke? There's this like beta clear speed. Maybe I just like beta clear speed, but it's just fun. I don't really know what else to say, it just feels good to play. And I reckon you actually can get the clear speed up once you do a few things to just push the build in the right direction. But yeah, that's basically that. We'll finish out this breach and then I'll end it up there. One or two just quick little things. Why not poison? Why this? The whole point is you want extra proj, you want something like chain, you want something like pierce. And whatever way you do it, you need the extra projectiles for this not to feel bad. So you're instantly putting bad double dips onto your poison. Why not traps? Traps is, again, it's quality of life. The thing with traps is you need to be playing a Saboteur to get them to all proc instantly, or you need to be doing stuff with Sunblast Belt so that when you throw a cluster trap, all the traps come out at once. If you're not having all the traps instantly trigger at once, it's a DPS loss, and mana becomes more of an issue, so on and so forth. It just feels smoother doing pure self-cast, and so far so good. The other thing that I'm a little bit iffy about is what I'm going to do for curses. So right now the plan is to do Split Arrow Curse on hit, Ele Weakness, Proj Weakness, that's with the Pierce. If I drop the Pierce one with Chain, I can then go for more defensive curses. So I could do Elemental Weakness, then enfeeble or Temp Chains. And I can also use a Corrupted Pair of Gloves with Curse on hit and get a Doju's Ring and do Tri-Curse. And then with Chain it would be Elemental Weakness, Temp Chains, enfeeble. And I would get either the Temp Chains or the Ele Weakness corrupted on the gloves. And if I went Pierce, then it would be Projectile Weakness, Elemental Weakness, then Temp Chains or enfeeble. And that would depend on what curse I had corrupted on my gloves. But anyway, that's just sort of the character. It's pretty fun. Let me know if you can think of any cool ideas for this build. And I'll keep you guys updated as we actually get to real content. I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Bye-bye.